Good morning, children. Welcome to the online class. Today we are going to revise the lesson from civics, that is human rights. Already I revised some of the questions, one words and two more, even first paragraph also. Now we start the second paragraph from this human rights lesson. What are fundamental duties? How would you follow these in your school premises? Fundamental duties. Here, fundamental rights and fundamental duties are two sides of the same coin. Here, the fundamental duties are mentioned in the Constitution when the 42nd Amendment of the Constitution, the year 1976. 1976, the amendment took place, the 42nd Amendment of the Constitution took place. In that, they included the fundamental duties. 11 fundamental duties are mentioned here. First, respect for the Constitution and the ideals and institutions, national flag, national anthem. This is a duty of every citizen, respecting national flag and national anthem. That is mentioned in the Constitution. The 42nd Amendment of the Constitution says about these duties of the citizen. The second duty of the citizen, follow the cherished and noble ideals which inspired our national struggle for freedoms. Our leaders fought for the freedom of our country, India. That time they left so many ideals that to be protected and followed. What all the noble ideals left us, that is that to be followed. That is a duty of a citizen. Uphold and protect sovereignty, unity and integrity of India. Our country from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, India is one. Among all these differences, cultural difference, religious difference, dress style, food habit, so many climatic difference, climate also differ, north and south. Like this, all these, among all these differences, we have to develop the unity and integrity of our country, India. And fourth point, to defend the country and render national service when called upon to do so. Anytime we have to be ready to serve for our country at the time of emergency time. We all must try to protect our country from the enemy countries. That is a duty of every citizen. To promote harmony and spirit of common brotherhood among all the people of India. Promote harmony, unity. Develop unity and harmony, common brotherhood. We are all brothers and sisters of our country, India, without any differences, without any religious difference or linguistic or regional, sectional diversities. We have to develop the unity among the people. Then the next one, to value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture. Preserve the rich heritage of our country has a composite culture. Many culture is there in our country, India. Well, different language is there, food habit is there, dress style is there. So among all these, we have to preserve the rich heritage of composite culture. The next one, protect and improve the natural environment, including forests. We have to protect the natural environment, forest, should not destroy the forest, even the mountain ranges, all must be preserved, should not destroy. If it is destroyed, if it is damaged, even our environment will be imbalanced. Then develop the scientific temper, humanism and spirit of inquiry and reform. Spirit of inquiry, humanism, human development, humanism must be protected. Develop the scientific temper, humanism and the spirit of inquiry. Then the next one is safeguard public property and abjure from the violence. So, public property, government property or public property, public school, colleges, bus, train, hospital, these are all public property. We have to be safeguard the public property, should not damage the public property. That is the duty of every citizen. Strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual and collective activity so that the nation constantly rises the highest level of the endeavor and achievement. Try hard towards excellence in all spheres of individual. All spheres of life, we have to try hard. Then the last one, to provide opportunities for education by the parent and guardian. That is a duty and a responsibility of every parent to provide education to their children. That also included in this duty. So all these duties are mentioned in the Constitution. These duties and rights are two sides of a same coin. This is a detailed question, second one. Then the next detailed question, third one, how does the National Human Rights Commission protect our rights? National Human Rights Commission. That is National Human Rights Commission is that is page number 258, first para and second para. National Human Rights Commission is an autonomous body. It is an independent body constituted 12th October 1993. Protects Human Rights Act 1993. This National Human Rights Commission protects the human rights, giving the protection of the human rights. 6 fundamental rights, that is the human rights mentioned in the Constitution. It is National Human Rights Commission is the protector of these fundamental rights of the citizen. Here this commission consists of chairman and other members, few other members, 3 from judiciary, 4 from department of other departments. This National Human Rights Commission is responsible for the protection and promotion of human rights in India defined by the Acts. The National Human Rights Commission promote the human rights of the citizen. It is the responsibility of the National Human Rights Commission to promote the human rights of the citizen. The Constitution of International Covenant Office is located, National Human Rights Commission office is located in New Delhi. Then what are the functions? Here some function, about 5 points it is given. Inquire into the violation of human rights. This National Human Rights Commission inquires if the human right is denied. If the human right is violated, this National Human Rights Commission inquire about it. Then intervene in the court proceedings. The court proceedings of the human rights are inquired by this National Human Rights Commission. It will intervene in the proceedings of the court proceedings of the human rights to undertake and promote research in the field of human rights. Undertake and promote research in the field of human rights. Then the next function of the human rights, engage in human rights education among various sections of society. Human rights education among various sections of the society. Educate the people about the human rights. Many people, rural areas, remote areas, not knowing about the human rights. What are the human rights mentioned in the Constitution? This National Human Rights Commission educate the people. Educate the people about the human rights. Encourage the effects of NGOs and institutions working in the field of human rights. NGOs, non-governmental organization. NGOs means non-governmental organization. These non-governmental organizations are encouraged by this National Human Rights Commission to work in the field of human rights. All these points you might have marked. Just I explained once. Can study easily that. Then the fourth one, what are the benefits for the workers provided by labor law? What are the benefits for workers provided by labor law? That is page number 262. Under reading labor rights, one small paragraph, and contribution of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, that also we have marked. First, labor rights. First paragraph. The Constitution ensures right to equality of opportunity in public employment. Equal opportunity in the public employment, that is rights. The Constitution makes sure of the rights of the people getting the employment opportunities. Right to form associations and unions. This right also given to the workers, form associations and unions. Right to livelihood prohibits trafficking, forced labor and child labor. Exploitation, child exploitation. Child exploitation. That means forcing the children to do the work. That is child exploitation. Ensures equal wages to male and female workers where equal work. For equal work, for male and female, equal wages. Those days, male wages is more and female wages are low. There was a difference in paying the wages, but both will do the equal work, but the wages will differ for male and female. But these labor rights equalize that wages for equal work. Then contribution of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. He contributed a lot for the welfare of the laborers. Reduction in factory working hours, 8 hours. People working more than 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours they are forced to do. They have to work hard, but they will pay minimum wages. They will not pay extra if they are doing more work or extra work. Extra hours if they are working, they will not pay. So they confirmed that 8 hours work, that is minimum wages for 8 hours they have to pay. If they are working more than 8 hours, they have to pay extra wages. Compulsory recognition of trade unions, traders, business people had a union for the benefit of the traders. For that, trade unions must get the recognition from the government. Employment exchange in India. They set up through this Labour Act, they set up the employment exchange. People got education, they have to register the names in the employment exchange to get the government jobs. They have started the employment exchange. Nowadays, no use of that employment exchange. For namesake, we can register our names, but we have to, if you want to get job, you have to write the exams and get pass, then only you will get the job. Employee State Insurance, ESI, that is for the benefit of the workers. They have started this ESI, Employment State Insurance, that means state insurance. Then minimum wages for laborers. They have said that minimum wages for a particular work, minimum wages, this much must be paid, not less than that. Coal and Mines Provident Fund. People who are working in the coal and mica mines, for that they have started some unions, workers union for the Provident Fund. These are all must be marked for this paragraph question. That is fourth paragraph. Then fifth one, that answer, how do you enjoy fundamental rights in your life? That I have given separate answer separately, that this book not given properly, so I gave the answer separately. Fundamental rights make the life people meaningful. All these fundamental rights mentioned in the Constitution make the life of the people meaningful. Right to equality, right to get education, right to travel any part of the country, right to get education, like this. So many, about 6 fundamental rights mentioned in the Constitution. All these 6 fundamental rights make the people meaningful. Right to equality, guaranteed by the Constitution, equality for independence, after independence, no equality in the Indian society among the people. Among the society, people, some people were ill-treated because inequality, rich and poor, higher and lower, high caste and lower caste. This type of differences among the people. So there was no peace among the people. There was no peaceful society. So that it guaranteed the Constitution guaranteed the right to equality, right to freedom. Right to freedom of speech, expression, freely move freely throughout India. Okay. Freedom of speech. Those days, no freedom of speech. Only certain higher caste people get education, they can get job opportunities, publicly they can move freely. But some other caste people were not allowed to get education, get job opportunities, freedom of expression, all that. Then right against exploitation, protect children from exploitation. Right to protection, right against exploitation. Already I said exploitation. Children, especially children and female, are exploited. Forced to do, compulsion, forcing to do. That is exploitation. That is the denial of right. Especially the small age children are forced to do the work. They have to work hard and they paid very little. This is an exploitation. I have to right to follow my religion without any fear. That is mentioned that India is a secular country. Many religions we have, but any religion if you want you can follow. That is the right given to the citizens to follow any religion. Right to freedom of religion. Freedom of religion. Cultural educational rights. Cultural education right. Any type of degree you can study, culture, any language you can follow. Okay, these are all the rights given in the Constitution. Right to constitutional remedies. Constitutional remedies also. If any one of the rights mentioned the Constitution denied, the citizen can get the remedy through the court. Through the court. That is constitutional remedies. Right to constitutional remedies. These are all the points given. This answer can learn. I think it is given that answer, not in the book, it is given separately. Okay, so all these details I have revised from this chapter. You can learn easily. So you learn thoroughly all these answers from this lesson. Thank you.